Well, he's got some sort of fairway wood. If he really clatters it and it's not absolutely straight, there's bunkers up there he could find. Yeah, there you are. You see, perhaps they don't notice these things. I don't know. Perhaps if you're going to do that, you might as well smack a driver, Andrew. Yeah. Try and go right, get through the. What's on here? I bet they're up to mischief, that lot. Or could do. Oh.
There might be a ball in there. There's a marshal hovering.
Oh, is it?
Holding down a rope. He's got to watch these ones.
There are probably 4 gendarmes on holiday. Oh, he's been hit. That is, the bleeding stopped. Or at least, thank God, there's... Oh, right there. Oh, let's have a look. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Up there, right on my old bonds. They hurt, you know. They're made of rubber. They sting a bit. Oh, yeah, you're all right. I could just put a little stitch in. Where's that lawyer? No fee, no pay, or whatever it is.
Have you had an accident at the golf course?
I've been smacked in the head once with a golf ball on the high course at Moore Park by Harry Wheatman, who was a massive hitter, and he hit the ground first. He had a low skimmer, and it rose up and hit me right on the side of the head, and I went down as if poleaxed. I think that's the expression. And really, in all honesty, looking back, I've never been quite the same since.
Wilson ready to lash one away at the 11th. Beautiful driving hole.
Yes, defined very well. Nice, well, nice for some. From Ernie's point of view, Ernie else who put it there. But up the left-hand side, he and Chris Kennedy, I used to call them head greenkeepers in my day, the course superintendent.
Par 3 up the hill. Pin today right in the centre and just on the back tier. There's a boisterous old crowd round here, right over the flag, that one.
Now, where's the wounded? A walking wounded?
If he's any sense, he'll hang around for a glove or a golf ball or a 5-iron or something.
I don't know whether it's just disturbed his hair or whether it just naturally looks as if it's covered in castrol.
Looks like it left bits of shrapnel in there.
Oh, Miles. Miles as well. Well, you couldn't be hit on the head by a nicer fellow than Miles Tunnicliffe. And also, you'll see he represents the Lawyers of Spain, I notice. That's his affiliation.
McGinley from the centre of the 9th fairway, going with an 8-iron from 172 yards. Strong breeze helping.
Pitch it up, pitch it up. Don't pitch short left. Hits the corner. That's the one. It's the way to do it. It's that little shoulder there by the bunker. You can't run it in here. Everything tips away. You can get close if the flag's on the other side, running it in, but when the flag's on this side, carry it all the way.
Now Carson's been lucky at the 9th, just caught the back shoulder of that bunker. And looks to have found a fairly decent lie as well.
Yeah, he's got the grass growing with him. Makes it a lot easier. 152 yards, just a wedge.
That's how strong the wind is blowing. A fairway wood and a wedge to the 9th. Oh, lucky again.
But you see, he was 10 or 15 yards short, so it's really not good club selection. He got away with it, you could say. He's got 12, 14-yard putt for a birdie, but that only just got over the bunker.
Poor tee shot, Marcus Fraser, 183 out of the bunker. Requires a very good second shot uphill.
That was a dangerous shot he attempted there. Bumped it into the bank and was lucky that it climbed forward, didn't come ricocheting back and hit him. That would have been a penalty shot or two.
Carson, perfect position here on 11. I think his course management's been very good today so far in difficult conditions. 140 left up the hill. You can't see the bottom of the flag. And coming uphill slightly down breeze, it's going to knock the ball down. So tough second shot, but can use the slope in the green to get close.
He said after running that marathon that was the last one he was ever going to do. Sneaked under the 4-hour mark and then collapsed in a heat. Very solid season this far without being too spectacular. Great year last year, finished 17th in the order of merit. And we saw Daniel Vancic with this shot just punching it in and taking the spin off it. Interesting to see how Kelson approaches it.
Good strike. Pulled it a bit strong. Will it zip back? No. Over the back. A bit speedy down there. That's not far. You just pitched it 5 yards too far and you did not get any backspin. There's one in the air. Who's that? Vancic. And he's going to be off the cushion again. That's going to make it. Yeah, what a good result there.
Well, Marcus Fraser, third shot into this 11th. He's had real trouble with his distance control. When he does something good, he does something bad. Wedge.
Well, that should spin if it gets the right bounce. Got too bit. No, he's pitched it too far. That was at least 10, 12 yards too far through the air, and not an attractive chip back.
Now Carson on the 9th. He has flirted outrageously with the bunkers in this hole, shamelessly. What a 3 would be. Very nice. That's going to be a level par outward 9.
Georgie Randhawa just completed his round of 69, 73, 68, 69. That's pulled him up the leaderboard of it. Andres Romero, the fine young player from Argentina, 73. I'll just rest my weary head on your bosom. Now McGinley, he can do with recapturing some of that magical putting touch from yesterday and the day before.
A little bit of movement from the left on this one.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe not.
That's a terrible putt. Really was one of his old jerky ones. That was never running at the hole at all, but you have to say a chance miss, but he's still there. He's leading the way. And look at that miserable start. 6-3, 5-5, 4. And the 5 at the 4th already was... Oh,
what's wrong with everyone today?
I don't know. I think it must be the heat. We're not used to the heat, you know, we Northern Europeans.
Casey for birdie. He's got his support. He's got a putt coming back as well.
See, that's rattled by 4.5 feet. But he does look very solid when he's got the timing right with the putter. He really does look as if he's never going to miss. Vancic at the 13th, down the hill. This is a sneaky one. This for a 3. 3 putted the last green from not all that far away. This to tie the lead. Just touched it down, looking good. No, it's just tailing away left. Just a little bit more speed and it might have held the line. Would have held the line, I'm sure. That's a 4 though. Not bad considering his second shot missed the green by 10 or 15 yards and bounced in.
If you're wondering where the non-Argentinian sounding surname comes from, it's a Hungarian heritage. Even if you weren't wondering, I'm telling you.
Aha. Casey. Solid. And that looks as solid as a rock. Now with his power, if he finished with 4/4 from here, that could shake him up a bit. Meanwhile, at the 10th,
McGinley into a strong wind, 190 yards today.
Looks like he might have turned that one. Yep. Oh, it's got the same chap has been sconned on the head. No, it bounced first, but that was a loose one.
hello, are we all right? We've got ladies, we've got prams, we've got high heel shoes, stilettos, markers, sandals, plastic bags, Tupperware boxes. Well, I don't think there's any damage done.
Down here on the tee, there's hardly any breeze, but as soon as the ball gets above the trees, the wind is really whistling into the face and from the right-hand side, and that's what caught McGinley out. These guys going with 5 irons today.
Smoke drifting across from the barbecues. I can almost smell the scent of burnt sausages. Nothing like the smell of a burnt sausage.
Yeah, it's I'm going a little bit hungry now with the smell of those barbecues over there. Well, Robert Carson's done pretty much what he's done all day. He's been hitting one club less than McGinley all day, so he's gone down to a 6 iron.
You see, I think he needs a big. He hits it high. If the winds are strong when you get above the trees, as everyone says, it would be better. I would suggest him playing a little push with a 5 iron. Well, he found the green, so he can't complain, but he's a good 15, 20 yards short of the hole. Hello, hello. Oh, we got enough gas there to last us. Go on, my son. Get that down yet. They don't do that on those cookery programs, do they?
Little crafty one off the beyond the back foot from Carson. Little rescue club.
It bobbled, didn't it? It hopped in the air, took a good yard off it. But that's pretty speedy down there.
There's a little 3-wood there. He's hoping for scraps at the side
I
there.
don't know. There's plenty of burnt offerings there. Who's having the burnt one? Alex Hay loved burnt toast, you know. He said it was very good. All those jockeys that used to frequent his area there with the dear old Marquis. It's very good for your carbon. Used to eat burnt toast. Now for this for a par down the hill, sneaky one. Sneaky one, and the next one back up the hill, sneaky one. See, when that ball was in the air, Andrew, his second shot, he must have thought, that's right at the flag. That's an absolute Jim Dandy.
He twirled his club. He
twirled his club, and it went to the back of the green, and then suddenly he's got a nasty putt for a bogey 5.
There's that grip again. Bernard Langer tried that out first of all.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
No,
that was Langer.
Let's blame him for it. No, the true culprit was Ian Marchbank, who for many years was the professional at the Glen Eagles Hotel when we used to play our pro celebrity matches there, and he was the first person ever to use that grip. And Bernard Langer copied him. There we are. There we are. McGinley leads the way. McGinley leads the way. Van Sick chasing. And it's all beginning to get a little bit tight, and we have been joined here by the resident. He's a fully paid up member of this fine club, Mr. Bruce Forsyth. Hello, sir.
Peter, it's lovely to. I've never worked one of these before.
No, it's very good.
I nearly swallowed it.
It didn't.
But I think my chin will hold it up.
Oh, you're very
yes.
good. Very nice to see you, sir.
It's lovely to be here, and I've just had a sausage, fun enough.
Did you enjoy the Masters?
Oh, yeah, I did. I did. It was wonderful. Something, you know, that Marigold Avenue. I always called it
Marigold. Yeah, you're a lover of golf. It's like you
Magnolia.
played that dog face left 14th hole, didn't you? Yeah.
That's right.
You said the 14th is dog face.
But it's a fantastic thing to go there and to see. And from now on, whenever I watch it and I see a slope, I will add at least 50% more.
What about this one then? Little flip up
yeah,
here?
Little flick one. What green is that?
Oh, it's a 10th.
Well, the 10th, yeah.
And he's not played a bad shot.
No,
from
that
there,
is a
like
good
there.
shot from there.
But he needs to hold that.
Yeah, yeah.
You enjoy your Pro-Am experience, Bruce?
I played so badly. I played much better than that. I've just played the Edinburgh actually, which I prefer playing the Edinburgh because now the West Course is not for the likes of me anymore. I think even for Peter. I think
Too hard. 14th hole now, Vancic. 9 under.
That's another low fizzer he's fired in there. Up the hill, up the slope.
And that's very good.
Excellent shot.
See, it can be done. It can be done.
Marcus Fraser. This for bogey. Oh, it was always low, always low.
You go past the hole there, it's very tricky, and you can take nothing for granted. That's why patience and just assemble your game together. Just don't get too far ahead. Just quietly, quietly.
And Robert Carson for a birdie attempt. A little bit of movement from the left-hand side just initially.
We saw Marcus Fraser rump one in from here, but this is straying off the straight and narrow and still going.
Well, he lines his putt up. We go back. Bruce, what about the Eurovision name? Are you going to watch that tonight?
No.
You and Winnie?
No, I can't.
Oh, sit hand in hand with Winnie, a glass of Ovaltine.
She loves it, actually. She absolutely adores the... I can't stand it, all those... It's not show business, is it?
Well, I don't
Not
know.
my kind of show business, no. I hope there's a good film on. That's where I'll be.
I saw you were attending the a great wedding reception, anniversary. Was it 40 years wed the other day?
Oh, this was incredible.
Was it?
Alan, because I just...
Alan Sugar's
The
40th?
BAFTA, you see, I got such a wonderful reception at the BAFTA. Alan Sugar's agent phoned up my agent and said, would Bruce be available for the wedding anniversary of my wife, 40 years? So I said, oh, fine, fine. So then they got through and said they negotiated a fee, you know, which I won't.
So you got paid?
I got paid for it.
Oh, God, blimey.
But
right.
not only, you know, I opened the show
Bruce,
15 minutes. Sorry,
I've got to fire you.
Oh,
I'll apprentice. I've got to get back to McGinley quickly.
Yeah, quickly, yes.
Keep up.
And this to save par. It was a very nice chip shot that he had. He was on a very tight lie. Played it with a lot of confidence. But it's an awkward little putt, this one.
Yes, well done.
Good putt.
Oh, sighs of relief.
Oh.
Enormous sighs of relief here.
He's got a wonderful grin, Paul McGinley, doesn't he? Wonderful smile.
Yeah, and that walk of his, you know, that walk, the determination.
Jaunty.
Yeah, jaunty, and he's, you know.
His little terrier.
Yes, I admire him very, very much indeed. Yeah, there are Irish terriers, aren't there? Scottish
Anyway,
terriers.
the sugar celebrations were very good, and you had your old Jewish comedian pal over from New York, who's very funny.
Well, that was marvelous. And then after that,
Is he
we had
really
the
Jewish?
whole cast,
Oh.
the whole cast of Sugar.
He spent a few bob. Then here, watch this putt now. This is worth a few bob. Could be. He probably spent more than the first prize. Can he hold? Can he follow McGinley in? He can.
Yes, he can.
Oh, beautifully done. Two good threes. Working man's threes they were. Made hard work of that.
Yeah, the whole cast of Jersey boys. I'll finish this story if it kills me. The whole cartridge, about 30 of them there as well. And then guess who went on after that?
You?
They cleared all. No.
Jackie Mason.
No.
Who?
I forget now.
Oh, Kylie Minogue.
No, it wasn't.
Where's Ken Brown? Ken Brown. Oh, it's time for you to move on, old buddy. I'm sorry about that. Sandy over there will give you your fee.
All right.
It'll be in ready.
But I haven't negotiated anything.
Yeah, well, get off, move out. Let Ken bat in there.
God, blabber. Well, all right.
Keep it up there. Keep it. Look, if you're going to learn to work one
sorry.
of these, keep it up under your nose.
I'll go.
And clear off.
I'll go now, but thank you for the experience. I'll never forget.
We'll let you know.
Mind you, I never want to. The bar's open on the way home if you want to.
Oh, I'll drop in.
All right, then good. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now then, after all that fun and frivolity, there's a check on the leaderboard with still, 9 holes to play for McGinley, 8 holes to play. And there could be a lot of toing and froing between now and then.
Van Sik to go 10 under, but that was a bit of a shocker.
I think this inward 9 is going to create a lot of interest because the wind is very strong. And so far we haven't seen how really seen how the 17th and the 18th are playing. But I'm looking at the scoreboard, lots of 5s, lots of which are pars, not an awful lot of 4s, so it's not easy. On his way out, Bruce says it was Elton John just to round off the proceedings. Some show. My missus will be waiting for one of those now. Oh, steady.
Yes, Carson wasn't as fortunate as McGinley, but having said fortunate, when you hit it straight down the middle, that's not really fortunate, is it?
That's a great little corner, a little watching spot there around the 11th tee, 10th green, 7th green, 8th tee. Now, he's been in trouble here, Casey. 4th shot, drove it in the trees. Just when we're talking about him perhaps putting in a great finish. Now, where's it? That's too strong. Just going to be a drop shot, at least a drop shot here at the 15th. So 4-4-4 finish would really sweeten things up for Casey.
Now Carson off the back of that double bogey along with his playing partner Marcus Fraser, both double bogeyed the 11th. And the drive here at the par 5, none too close. That's a gouge. All his strength to get in a good position. Done well. Everyone just slipping away from Paul McGinley again, leaving him at the top. Miles Tunnicliffe, another. He's steadied things after dropping 3 in the first 5 holes. And continues to make his steady way. 7 under, none too shabby.
Yes, McGinley by 1, but I'm just checking on the final few holes for the competitors that have been coming in, and the 18th has yielded a few 4s, which is a birdie. The rest of the holes have been all 5s and 6s, so the last 2 holes are playing into the wind. So we're not perhaps going to see, if somebody could sneak in with a couple of 4s, they could really make huge inroads in that leaderboard. Phil Park, there he is. Have you got? I thought it was warm out there, Philip. Have you got your own personal sauna on? Have you?
Well, yeah, I suppose I live in Florida now, so I'm used to hot weather. So even though it's a gorgeous day, I still feel as though I need a little jacket to remind me of where I live now.
Are you enjoying it out there?
It is fantastic. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Paul McGinley seems to have got back in his rhythm. He's hit all the fairways since the 6th, and so I expect to see a few more birdies from him today.
Yeah, I think the inward 9 is going to be a very productive.
117 yards for Soren, straight down the breeze after laying up here on 12. 3rd shot into the par 5.
Well, just took one hop and then away. He'll have a long chance of a birdie, and I'm off for a break. Ken Brown is back into the body of the Kirk.
Thank you, Andrew.
We got that's the 121 front.
Hear from Ken in a moment. We'll hear from him immediately on
That hole there
how to
straight
play
down.
this 11th hole.
Almost here. Not quite from the tee, from that boogie.
The flag on number 11 today is cut in 25 centre, right in the centre of the putting surface. So you'd think it'd be fairly easy, but there's a little quirk on number 11 today. It's cut on this back slope, 25 centre, equidistance either side. If you come short of the flag, you're putting up the hill. Right or left, you get the big swerving putts. So on this green, always there's a bit of a problem with backspin. Where do you land it? How much is it going to spin back? And it's very easy to try and get at this flag, and you end up coming past the pin here. And from here, you can see it's downhill, but this is one of the fastest putts on the golf course. Just give it a little nudge, not quite Augusta fast, but very swift. Just keeps trickling on, a little bit from left to right. So your approach at number 11, ideally you want to leave it a little bit short of the pin so you're putting up the hill. You've got to control the spin perfectly, but where you don't want to finish is beyond the cup. It's swift from there.
Beyond the cup. Beyond the cup. Well, is he in trouble there? Is he in the sand? Where is he? There he is. We'll see if a splash of sand comes up. It does.
He just caught the lip, I'm afraid, but it did rather well, but not well enough.
Bunker or grass, Phil? Grass, is it? Right.
Paul Casey. Oh.
Well, to actually miss the hole at that pace, I mean, you take all the line out of it. You're a much better putter than most people can, but that really was, you'd have to say heavy-handed, wouldn't you? If you're going to hit it at that speed.
He was trying to force it in, a little bit scared of it.
You must go straight. Gee me.
This looks to be the ideal angle to get at this pin from, Phil.
It is. I expect a good shot. He seems to be back in his rhythm. The last 5 or 6 holes he's been swinging very nicely. This is from 147 yards, trying to draw it in. It is a little bit.
And is it going to spin down? No. He's getting the distance, but not quite the direction at the moment. See, he only hits 4 out of 7 fairways, 5 out of 10 greens. So he hasn't really been clicking straight. That's you can wrap it up whatever way you like, but he hasn't done well. Now this is for a double bogey 6. Oh, when he was going so well, one way with tee shot. Oi, 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 oi. Look at that dirty big 6. 4-4-4 finish will ease the pain though.
Fraser had 1 or 2 problems down this 12th hole. Sack shot pulled way left. Now onto the front of the green, putting uphill, will move a little bit from the right. Wind whipping across the green.
With this wind direction, the closing holes generally are a little bit tougher. And this is the wind direction. This is the 12th hole coming across here. Then 13. This is the closing stretch. That's the 13th. Move along to the 14th. A little short hole up the hill. The 14th playing it back into the breeze. Along to 15. Very tricky par 4 directly into the breeze there. That's where Casey's just taken a double bogey. 16th, back straight into the breeze. So this closing stretch, very, very tricky. 17, back into the breeze. So there we are, those closing holes. Only the 18th gives you a bit of relief, and the wind's blowing across and slightly helping with the second shot. This is the 18th. So a tough little stretch of holes, a bit more difficult than it has been earlier in the week due to the wind direction, which is fresh and blustery.
So that's the situation with 10 more games to finish.
Robert Carson walked all the way up to this hole location. Wanted to see how far it was on, and it's 25 paces. You can't actually see the bottom of the flag, so it's going to be difficult for him to judge it. The lie's not too bad though.
You'll be aware, shorter of the cup is a better putt than long. And that's how you do it.
Under the cup, up the hill from there.
Well, our great graphic designer, Neville Appleton's wife Heidi, produced a baby in the middle of the night. That disturbed his rest. I could have very inconsiderate of her to do it in the middle of the night, but we wished him all well. He's off work, taking a day off. With the new legislation, he probably has a year off on full pay now to be a house father. How things change. Congratulations, Heidi. A bouncing baby.
Birdie chance for Keelson at the 12th. Well, both him and Marcus Fraser double bogeyed the short par 4 11th. Take the wind out of their sails.
Bit of swing on this one, Ken.
Yes, this is an awkward one because not only is there a big turn, the first bit is of the putt, half of it is up the hill, you're going up the slope, then the second bit is down the hill on the other side, so pace and line very tricky to get just right.
And 2 putts, you see, you're okay with 2 putts here. You don't want to really do what Casey did. He drilled it by 3 putts from nowhere. Now that should ease. Has he hit it hard enough? No, he hasn't. That's a poor tentative one, that. No, he's got a horrid putt left. Sometimes 2 putting ain't bad. They're all talking about 29 putts and all the rest of it per round. 2 putts sometimes are very good if you're hitting every green.
Caddy checking. There's a little yellow dot on the green where the flag's going to be cut tomorrow, and the caddies check that for Sunday's play while play's going on.
Lancing at the 15th. How different this hole's playing. Needs a wood to reach it. This was a drive and a 7-iron or something earlier in the week. Come along. Oh, just landed on the front edge. Just it's where the water sort of sheds off the green. Soft just in front there, but a good shot.
It still nudges it in. Marcus Fraser's just gone 6-6, taking a bogey there. Keelson a par. Keelson stays at 7 under.
McGinley at the 11th.
This is really delicate. It's a little bit too far to be firm.
No. Oh, 3 putts. So now we're a change on the leaderboard situation, but McGinley's still there. I mean, he must be very cross with himself because it's been ragged. But 3 of them. Ty Vansick's just short of the 15th, a difficult par 4 in 2. Not guaranteed to get down in 2 from there, the way things are shaping up.
13th and 6 under par. Oh, sorry, 5 under par. This to go to 6 under, and nicely done. The old mechanic.
Out in 37, dropped a stroke at the 10th. He's had a couple of birdies, so he's always there or there. Well, well, well. I think it's a bad case of food poisoning.
Carson, sand off the tee and couldn't reach the green. Pitch to here.
See, that's what's so silly about this game. He gets a 4. He's been all over the course and gets a 4. And match play, that would really annoy you. Would you know? You played the whole. McGinley played the whole 50% better than he did, and it takes 5. Now that's the fellow that played Gandhi in that great movie, Ben Kingsley. I swear, or at least if it's not, his mother was frightened by Ben Kingsley.
Wilson having a shy at this green.
Nice flight on it. Out of bounds over the back, asking it to land softly. Oh, it's landed way short. Nicely done. Sometimes out of the rough you get a bit of a flyer and you pitch it in the middle of this green. You can chase it very nearly out of bounds at the back. Perfect. Heart of the putting surface.
Beautiful strike there. No need to be so anxious.
I bet these guys are really pleased they've actually come to a hole where they think they can make a birdie. 531 yards downwind, par 5. Robert Carson going with the driver.
Well, if he hits one straight here and gets a good bounce, he'll be left with only a short iron to the green. No, it didn't skip. Landed soft. A freckle-faced young lad. You don't see freckles much these days, Ken. Why is that? Is it the diet or what?
Not sure. Couple off the Brady bunch, planning something in the camp.
Yeah. Good lads. Nice to see you. I see youngsters out and about.
A ripple.
That landed fairly soft as well. It didn't bound down the fairway. So the final pair move into a one hole round the corner and then straight for home. It's pretty well a direct line back to the clubhouse.
From the front of the 15th, Daniel Vancic, the Argentinian. The Argentine. Oh, it's gone. Big tilt on this green from right to left. Joint leader. 3 under for the round. Been a pro for 10 years and came to the fore a couple of seasons ago. One last year in Madeira. Got his card for the European Tour. Paul Casey's third. Had another adventure off the tee. That's not bad.
Just when we were thinking he might, with his power, put in a good finish, he's struggling. Luke Donald finished 6-5 at home in 38 for 73, and the last 2 or 3 holes are taking their toll. Paul Eales, wind seems to be getting even stronger as we speak.
Well, just a nasty gust there, disturbing Oliver's cap. Fortune favours the brave, so they say. Oliver 258 yards away. Just barely got over the stream, finished here, so this is for an eagle 3. This would tie the lead.
Quite a holeable length of putt too. Well, they're certainly bold.
Vancic for his par. Two at the top, McGinley and Robert Carson. In 2007 was a bit of a surprise victory, but sort of really give his career a huge boost. Tunnicliffe. You just feel the greens, you know, these balls are starting to just trickle on a little bit more now. And a couple of real testy ones left here at the 12th from Tunnicliffe and Oliver Wilson.
Well, Miles has made a right mess of this hole. He really has. Boomed his tee shot 330 yards, only a 7-iron into the green, and a par is the best. So not a tricky hole today, not after a drive like that.
Very meticulous, Oliver Wilson.
Yes, he does take his time rather, and he's got this annoying thing where the caddy stands behind him and lines him up and makes sure his spine angle's straight and that his creases are all in the right spot before he pulls the trigger.
Spine angle, that's new. Is that new? Spine angle. No, good putt. Nice 4. Within 1 of the lead.
Almost looks like he's gripping it very tight, Tom Watson style.
Yeah, suddenly the wheels have jammed up on Casey. The gusty wind sweeping across the course, but the two shots dropped at the last hole. One there. Tunnicliffe holds out. Can only get a 5 after that majestic tee shot. Check on the leaderboard here. Top of the leaderboard hasn't. Well, it's fluctuating, but see how the others, the pack are closing up. Van Sick is the only one. You see, 2 under par. Everyone else is over par. Carson level par. McGinley 4 over. Gary Orr going along nicely at level par.
Paul McGinley going with a 3-iron from 243 yards. A little bit of breeze helping off the left-hand side.
Just makes things awkward.
Yeah, got away to that bad start, didn't he? Thought he was doing all the right things, hitting an iron off the first tee, found the bunker, and you just put him on the back foot right from the first hole. 6 at the very first hole, then hold a nice putt for a 3. 5. Then he didn't get his 4 down the hill when in all truth he could easily reach the green in 2. So he's recovered pretty well. He's sort of holding on. But he really needs to get just a nice run of good striking and good pars, and then perhaps sneak a birdie in, 1 or 2 birdies between here and the 18th.
And after a drive of 323 yards, Robert Carson going with a 7-iron.
Is he admiring it? He is. Towering iron, landing pretty softly, coming down the breeze, nicely judged.
Thank you for your emails from Paul Allen from Warrington. Why are the distances in yards and meters? Well, we have players from the continent, Paul, I suppose, and they do it in both, so that the people are familiarised with their own particular language, and the officials decide, not the greenkeepers, where the holes will be placed.
He went from the back of the 14th, and that's going to stay there. Extremely well done, having to pitch it twice in the fringe. He's only got to roll another yard and it goes down the tier, probably off the front of the green today.
Marcus Fraser, who was really going nicely until 40 minutes ago, but this is his 3rd shot, well wide of the 13th green. Good shot. What happens when a ball on the green is hit and moved by another ball? Cliff wants to know that. Well, the ball that strikes the stationary one stays where it is, and the other one they replace it as best they can to the position it was before it was clattered into. No penalty.
Just want to be making pars on these closing holes. They're good scores with the breeze in the face. It's super up and down.
That was very good. Very treacherous on the back of the screen.
Well, he's a wild player, Jimenez, these days. You know, he plays in the Masters. He was at the Players' Champion a couple of weeks ago, so he's used to playing all the different conditions. Very experienced.
He's 6 at the 8th, though, Ken. He's dropped some 4 at the 2nd. He's had some scruffy stuff, but he's had some very good birdies on some difficult holes. Gary Orr, he's going along nicely. Out in 37, starts at 2-4-4, 2 birdies on the homeward run, and that's in again. Well done. Up they go. Jason Fitzgerald, Ken, wants to know, if Robert Carson up 6'6" or 7, how much longer and how much more upright would his clubs be, do you think, compared to standard? And
well, yeah, I'll get back to that one because I do know the answer.
drilled that left, didn't he? Suddenly, Hilton who was going along so beautifully out in 33.
Well, unfortunately for Soren, wheels have come off the last few holes. The guy's done nothing wrong all day, and he's spending some cash here this afternoon.
Well, he's just going, what's that for there, a 5 again? He's
Bogey
just
5, Peter, and of course
bogey,
double at the
he's gone
11th.
Bogey. He's just dropping shots by the handful. Quite extraordinary.
Well, so far today, Paul McGinley hasn't really hit many good chip shots. Normally you'd say this was an eagle opportunity.
Pretty good, just stabbing it out with a little hollow. A good up and down from an awkward spot. I wonder if that's some of those estate agents things you're looking at. Very expensive, the houses around here. I see him sniffing away there. Oh, sausages. The Robert Carson's clubs, they're about 1.5 inches longer than standard, which is a massive amount, and he has them specially made extra stiff. I mean, if you have your clubs 1/2 inch longer than standard, that's a big addition. So you have special shafts actually made for them that are that long. Normally as you make the club longer, they get a bit more flexible. For an eagle. And he's done it. What a timely bit of play. Moves 2 ahead of the field, 11 under. Glorious drive, perfect 7-iron, and a 12-footer in the bottom of the cup. Leads by 2. Started the day 4 behind Paul McGinley, and now he's 2 ahead.
Don't think you can play a hole any better than what Robert Carson did. For McGinley, here has a chance to close that gap. And after what happened to him on the last green, I think he needs to just roll this one in nicely. And then the last few holes are into the breeze. They're going to be very difficult. So it'd be nice to get off to a birdie here before you turn into the wind.
Just got to make sure you release the putter through here and don't try and sort of prod it at the hole. Let it putter swing nicely, beautifully done. Good birdie. So it's Carson 11 under, McGinley 10 under, Van Sick and Wilson at 8 under. Andrew Cotter back in the box. Welcome, Andrew.
Yeah, that momentum swing with Robert Carson. Van Sick punching one away again. That bogey on the 15th, had a bit of trouble on the 16th.
Slightly errant tee shot at the 13th for Oliver Wilson, but lucky he's found a gap through.
Miss it, miss it.
Oh, what a nice bounce. Not bad from where he was.
Not the only sport on BBC this weekend. Rugby as well. The Sevens, the penultimate round of the IRB Sevens at Twickenham. Next weekend they're off for the grand finale in Edinburgh at Murrayfield. But press your red button. You can see it all. The Samoans, the Fijians, the All Blacks, and of course England, Scotland and Wales as well.
Big day for Queen of the South today, Andrew.
Yeah, my uncle supports them.
Yeah, my uncle does. Uncle John and Auntie Jenny. I'm sure I'll be watching the...
That's it, from down that way, aren't you?
Yes.
Queen of the South, Dumfries's finest. Corker from Marcus Fraser. A yard and a half just from a shiny new car, but more importantly, heading back in the right direction.
Vincent got tangled up in the tangly stuff to the left of the 16th and didn't quite get the club and the strike on the ball quite right, so looks like another stroke may be dropped. Such a variety of little rough round the greens. There's those thick tangly areas and there's bare areas, and you never know quite what sort of lie you're going to get.
Jimenez around the body, swing and a heave, and
Come on, get left.
get left. It does. That'll get left even more now. Breaking, borrowing, finishing below the hole is magnificent from Miguel Angel. He needs it.
He's a fantastic fairway wood player. I mean, he's right up there with the greats, Neil Coles, Christy O'Connor, with some of the great wood players in the old days. Well, there's gets to 3 under after 12. He's 3 under standing on the 14th tee, and now he's back to level. He found a little bit of a dodgy lie at the 17th as well. Coming out here, the ball's bound to come out with a bit of jump, a bit of run on it.
Long discussions with caddies for all the players today. That's Craig Connolly, bagman to Casey, had a spell with sabbatical with Monty, and now back with Casey.
Wind, well, basically into him.
This is where caddies have to be so strong as well in their own view of things and offer a positive selection and say that is the club, don't they, Ken?
Yeah, exactly. We don't want indecision. That's no good at all. And this is an interesting shot, because if he goes at the pin and leaks it a little to the right, he'll kick down the bank and he may take a 6 from there. So he's got to play the percentage a little left of the flag. Otherwise, take a risk. He's so strong, though. Rip through this rough. Trying to chase it on, but
Advancing for par. And the 15th and now the 16th have knocked the stuffing out of his round. Bogey at the 15th and not yet in for a bogey at the 16th. 8 under par at the moment. And just watching the leader, Robert Carson, drift away from him. This is only his second BMW PGA Championship. Missed the cut last year. It's already an improvement. That is a bogey.
glad to get off the hole. A long hitter, so you certainly better reach the 18th in 2, but 17 may be out of range even for him. 7 under, 2 par 5s to come.
Birdie putt for Marcus Fraser. There she goes. What a 2 that is. All from the tee shot.
Very inviting little chip this up the slope. Oliver Wilson, and played it extremely well. Low one with a sand wedge or maybe even a 60, gripping nicely.
Face full of sand for the troubles, just popping it out onto the fairway at the 13th. Hard going for McGinley today.
Well done, Miles. He's just clinging to the window, the glass window, and slipping slightly, but his nails are digging in. 7 under.
Four for Oliver Wilson, far from out of it. Hanging in level par for his round today. 2 bogeys, 2 birdies. He's clawed his way back well, dropping shots at the 3rd and the 5th. So Robert Carson in front, McGinley hanging on to his coattails. And Oliver Wilson, just a little bit of a gap between McGinley and the rest. The field beginning to stretch a little bit more. And Casey, what stumbles he's had in the back 9, going along so well. Martin Keimer begins to look ever better after his 71.
Robert Carson was really impressive off the tee shot. On the 13th, it's directly into the wind. You've got traps left and traps right. Nothing but a perfect tee shot will suffice, and that's exactly what Robert Carson did. Wind really getting up now, but it's not consistent.
How far has he left himself, approximately?
It was a huge tee shot. He's only got 145 yards remaining. He couldn't have hit it any better. And so he's turned a very difficult hole into a birdie opportunity.
Absolute
Having said that,
monster.
if he misjudges and picks the wrong club, which is possible, all of a sudden it's difficult to get a par.
I'm just saying, that's an absolute monster into that wind off the tee.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. He hit it low and right down the middle, and it chased over the top of the mound.
Ball a little below his feet, wind in too slightly off the left, and the pin on the left. The slope's sort of going against the shot he'd like to play.
And that was a little knockdown shot, guys. It's the first one I've seen today from him.
Yeah, quality shot. A par on 13 today is definitely a very acceptable score. The next hole they've got to play is the 14th, which is 177 yards today, and the pin, as usual, on the back tier, just above the ridge. And you've got a decision on the tee. How are you going to flight it? With the breeze in the player's face, it's possible to come in low and sort of chase it up the tier. Then the other option is to fly it high and land it very soft. The little ledge at the back is only 9 paces deep, so difficult to get it just right. So you've got to use that ridge and decide what type of shot you're going to play. Into the breeze, you've got the options. 177, probably playing a 5-iron.
Wilson has ever lined up by his caddy.
177 5-iron back into the wind.
Tugged a fraction, which he has. That's just below. There it goes, rolling back down. Looks close on your screen there, but
I'm afraid this is Paul McGinley's 3rd. He found the trap off the tee. It's from 135 yards.
And he won't be too sure where the ball is, but you can't see it from the fairway, but 20 feet or so. Outside chance of saving his par.
Miles also going with the 5-iron here.
misjudgment. Rolling back down. Still going, still going.
251, strong breeze off the left here. It's a massive yardage for Fraser down the hill here on 15. Ideally move it from left to right.
15th hole's 483 yards. In the first 2 rounds it was 3 woods and 6 irons and 7 irons. Now it's a couple of woods.
And Casey off the back of double bogey, bogey. Another one. Falls ever further. 7 behind Robert Carson now. Just when you start to think you might be able to pick up a few more shots, 16, 17, 18. That is back into the wind today, but Carson proud and alone, 11 under, 1 clear of his playing partner. He really has done well, McGinley, since that horrible start. And Daniel Vancic has been very steady today. And here he is on the par 5, 17th. He's a mighty hitter. Looks to be just off the fairway. And this one,
where's this going?
Is it moving enough? My goodness, it's a golf ball. What a strange thing to find.
Well, the upside he's missed the thick rough, isn't he? The downside is the pin is on the right of the green, so awkward little pitch for Vancic.
The back nine is certainly playing more difficult, but it's for everyone. It seems Robert Carson, who hammered a drive down the 13th, controlled second shot. Well, adds up to a lengthy birdie putt.
A valley in the middle of the green, so he's downhill then up with the second part of the putt. Bit of right to left. Up the other side, and as it slows it'll dive to the left.
Very tricky one this for Miles. Got to get it back up to the top step here.
Has he? Has he? No, no. And thrice no. It's gone. First thing he had to do was get it up onto that back level. Good for the old hole. This 14th is going to prove costly. He walks like McGinley.
McGinley now to save par, a little bit of movement from the right hand side. If this goes in, it'll be more like a birdie for him.
Errant tee shot costs him a stroke. 9 under. Had plenty of experience though, Paul McGinley. Knows he's just got to hang in there. His 16th start here at the BMW PGA.
Stand now, please. Thanks.
The boys are out.
Slightly worried by the golf. Carson, very, very good putter. For a big man, 6'5", to fold himself over the putt. Lovely stroke. Head and shoulders above the rest at the moment. 2 shots clear.
This is a tidy round. He's 2 under 4. We've only had 3 rounds so far in the 60s today. He's continuing his confident and good form, Robert Carson. slope for Oliver Wilson. Green's looking a little more shiny now. Those little 3 and 4 footers become a bit more tricky. Club selection always difficult at Wentworth with the swirling breeze.
I'll expect something close to 70,000 over the 4 days. Tripping through the gates and traipsing around the course, and now Tunnicliffe. This for par, but from here very difficult up the slope it comes.
Timing around, you've just got to sort of gird yourself and keep concentrating. You're feeling a little fatigued and ball not really running for you, just got to keep playing one shot at a time.
Vancic. He's able to get a bit of control, a bit fortunate to be beyond the thicker rough and into the trampled spectator area. And he'll have a chance of a birdie.
I think it's straight in.
Yet again, a difficult decision to know what club to use. This 14th is quite severely uphill. It's 174 yards today, and the whole location just over on the top ridge. And down here there's a little bit of breeze, but you know as soon as the ball gets in the air there's some really strong wind up there. Robert Carson going with a 5-iron.
Sounded pretty sweet. Is it going to stay at the top? Oh my goodness. Another yard.
He'll be able to read that shot exactly as he hears the applause of the crowd die. He knows exactly what's happened to that. But for a moment it promised much.
We were talking to Bruce Forsyth earlier. He was on about anniversaries. I'd like to congratulate my mother-in-law and father-in-law on their 50th wedding anniversary today. Chris Toop and Ken Toop, congratulations.
50 years.
Just trying to get some brownie points there. Well, McGinley, you know, he started getting into a rhythm. It just was unfortunate on that last hole. It was a really difficult tee shot. And this is a really difficult shot as well. You just got to get it to perfection. He's also going with the 5-iron. Probably going to try and hit it a little bit lower than Robert.
It's a few yards out here and there today, and so costly. So Robert Carson, clear blue water between himself and the rest. McGinley now 2 behind. Oliver Wilson steady as she goes, 8 under. And Vancic, but again, just the field stringing out a little bit to that big group on 6 under par. Just 3 scores under 70. Jyoti Randhawa, Rafa Eshenique and Oliver Fisher. And Casey, who's promising so much for so long during this round, but he's having a horrible finish. Dropped 4 shots. There's that score of Oliver Fisher, which really does haul him right back into the top 20. Simon Wakefield having a poor day, as is Damien McGrain, 5 over with a couple to play. Back to the 17th. To go to 8 under par, Daniel Vancic.
Can he pick the line on this rather mysterious green? 5. Exactly what the hole is averaging today, 5.
He's playing with Alejandro Canizares there, we saw him briefly, son of Jose Maria Canizares. There he is. That's for a drop shot, slips back to 3 under par. Think of Ignacio Garrido, Antonio Garrido, the Canizares father and son. It's a family business in Spain.
Paul McGinn has found a nice lie over in that left-hand trap. I think the thing he's got to be careful of here is if this one squirts out to the right just a little bit and the ball ends up about 4 feet right of the hole location, then it's going to catch the slope and end up right down the bottom where Robert Carson's ball is. So that's the only danger thing.
This little slope here he's got to be careful of.
He's got to slow down. Leaves himself a fairly benign putt there, just coming from right to left and slightly up the slope. That'll be a huge putt when it comes, though. And for those of you interested in the football, the Championship playoff final, the most expensive, most rewarding game in the game, worth 60 million in Hull City. Dean Windass, he's 39 years old, scored in the 39th minute, and Queen of the South against Rangers, 2-2. Ken Brown's cheating. Oh, Queen of the South were 2-0 down as well. Rangers really are a shocking end to the season.
This putt for Robert Carson is very slow, but I'm sure these guys have been here on Wednesday and Tuesday with the practice rounds and realised that, and it's into the wind as well. This is a birdie opportunity, but also easy to leave it 4 feet short.
He's giving that huge long practice swing. He knows he needs to give it a good biff. There's about 3 yards of flat at the top of the rise. Go on. Oh, beautifully judged. That lovely sound off the putter face. That sort of, you know, it's come right out the sweet spot, flushed.
A good solid click. A day for surviving and not making too many mistakes, and he hasn't. And a day for snoozing and wondering why you've been taken to the golf.
Well, Oliver taking a chance here. He's well back in this bunker, 219 yards to go, straight back into the wind. Got the hybrid out, needs to pick this one off the top and avoid that bunker face in front of him.
Oh, topped it. Oh, topped it out and, well, stays dry. They've bounced off a railway sleeper or two.
Another one slips away. This castle's been made of sand today so far. We've got some holes left. 8 under. Carson leads by 3 now. Very different hole, the 15th today. 483 yards into the teeth of the breeze, and what you can't see from here in those trees left and right is out of bounds and not too difficult to get over the fence. 2 bunkers down the left. If you can favour the left side, it does give you a slightly better view of the green. The green slopes a lot from right to left, but quite a big hole today. A lot of the players going in with woods, so smallish target. 15th at the moment, currently the hardest hole.
Vancic. Oh, and he's turned that one over. Looking for the fade, and he's found the hook. Depends how it lies. Tends to nestle down there, dig its heels in and run for cover. Won't be able to get to the green too, might not even be able to get across the burn.
Paul Casey up the slope for a birdie. Such a cruel game. 6-5, 6-5 finish. Stood 3 under par for the day on the 14th tee. Ends up shooting 73. Still a decent round, but he'd be thinking, oh my, if I could be 8 under par, I'd have a great chance of victory. Still not impossible, but a long way back.
Oliver Wilson got a good lie after avoiding the water, but hand comes off the club and loose, not too loose though, but it's a bit of a breaker coming down towards the hole for his par.
Oh, this 15th is a beast of a hole today, guys. 492 yards into the wind, although they have moved the tee about 15 yards forward to make it a little bit easier for these guys. Important to hit the fairway, so Robert Carson, even though it's playing as long as it is, still just going with a 3-wood.
What's the strategy off the tee?
Just have to hit the fairways. You've got to stay out of those left-hand traps, and you've got to stay out of the right-hand traps, and you've got to hit it down the middle of the fairway. How about that?
I've got it. I understand.
Just try and hit it low.
It's low, and it's into the old cat box, I think. That would be very tricky. That's one of Ernie's new bunkers down the right at the 15th.
Tunnicliff's third, not ahead of the green. Throwing it up to the heavens. Down gently, lovely shot. Clinging on, Tunnicliffe, 6 under, 3 over for his round.
And now McGinley. I thought someone would have hit a driver like we had to do in the olden days. We were forced to hit driver off this tee. McGinley hitting it quite high. That's going to go nowhere. I'm not sure if he can reach in 2 after that one.
Strange, a mighty par 4. Look at that, hasn't reached the fairway. Hasn't reached the fairway. Fascinating decision not to hit driver.
194 to reach.
Peter Alliss is back in the box with us.
Thank you, Andrew. I must say the last hour has been rather painful for many players who were going along so nicely, no more so than Paul Casey. And see, here he is at the 18th. Looks as if he's just bumped. Oh, gave it everything he's got to get it over the little ditch and up towards the green. Yeah, okay, well done. That was a big hit from heavy rough. The flag is 18 paces up the green, but only 3 from the right. Quite a nice position.
Big swinging right to lefter here for Oliver to save his par.
These closing half a dozen holes on 13 are really taking their toll today. Very few red figures.
Well, we don't often see them played into the wind, do we? And so not many of these players will have experienced the last 4 holes playing as long as this. And of course it's an entirely different technique and mindset. Paul, you must have played here over the years when the wind's been against on these final holes, or I'm sure a lot of these players have not.
well, absolutely right, but it was always having to try and keep the ball down below the level of the trees. Scuttle it along the ground, hard fairways, but they're all hitting it through the air.
Yeah, and missing it, but well, that's why I keep saying it. But Neil Cole's won umpteen, well, certainly 5 or 6 events here, big events here around this course. He was known as the West Course specialist. Peter Thompson was another one who played it quite beautifully. But I don't think enough of these players have experienced that sort of golf, so they can't change. They've only got the one method, and it's very difficult to get into a different routine, which you have to have.
Well, I presume that they're having a conversation of saying that you've got no chance of reaching Paul from here. 280 yards into the breeze. Unless he gets one shooting really low and forward and bounding down the fairway, he's got no chance of getting there.
And of course, if he pulls it a little bit left, the little stream there on the left goes sort of diagonally to the fairway. You can end up in there. Not good once you've hit a short tee shot. This is fire with everything you've got and hope for the best. Short left. There are worse positions to be than that, but a monster hole. And looking down the scores over these final holes, there's been five games go through, and 1 birdie of 4 at the last hole by Jan Dirksen.
Well, come on, Oliver, drive it straight at that second bunker on the right, 253 yards away, back into the wind. Been struggling to get the ball on the fairways on this back 9.
So, brave line or pulled too much? Oh, brave, and bounding on. Glorious tee shot. On it bounded.
Robert Carson out with the iron, which means basically he's got no chance of getting there with this shot. So he's just going to lay up, hopefully get as close to the green as he possibly can.
Heavy. Yeah, couldn't reach the green, but it was a good shot, good result anyway. Well up the fairway. There's a caddy there. We've had an email about him from Dave Clark. That's Gareth, known as the Lord, carrying Robert Carlson's bag. And he played in the same England junior team as Lee Westwood a few years ago. And everyone at the Coventry House Golf Club is cheering you on, the Lord. I wonder why they call him the Lord. There he is. Lee Westwood, of course, was ill and sadly had to withdraw after half a dozen holes or so yesterday.
Vancic reasonably close to the well, again a slight misjudgment on the final hole, and Carson now by 3 in a little bit of trouble in the 15th though, as is McGinley. Again, a day when the leaders just come tumbling back down towards the field, and Vancic and Wilson may soon be a little bit closer to those leaders.
Gareth Lord, Peter. That's why they call him
the Lord. Right.
Super guy is as well.
Must have been a good player, still a good player probably. Now, here's Gary Orr coming to the final couple of holes. Third shot though at the 17th, still quite a long way back. Level par for the day, what it wouldn't give for a couple of 4s. Steady, steady. Okay, well done.
Known as the Orr. That's the best you can do with the nickname. Just take the surname and...
Orr.
I always love that story. One of the journalists at the Masters once, after Mike Weir's victory, one of his precious questions was, why do they call you Weirsy?
Wow. Why do they call you Wearsy? You can call me anything you like, but don't call me late for supper. Now then, Bensinger, the 18th. Big swing here, asking a lot to hold this, but he could get into second place if it disappears, and it's not going to. This is a little slippery one, I can tell you. They can whiz by on the left or dribble away right. This isn't a pushover. Inside, just left of centre with a little bit of pace. Oh, see that? Left to right, this thing. Well, they've all crumbled away, I'm afraid. It's given, well, who's creeping up? Well, it promises a good day tomorrow. See a bad finish, 5.556. Wind against, different conditions, all found wanting.
A little bit too lusty from Carson, and his final 4 holes, well, the 15th is always quite tricky, but 16, 17, 18 you come to them thinking I may just pick up a couple of shots here, but today they are brutal. And McGinley, who didn't even reach the fairway with his tee shot, took a 3-wood into the wind, second to here.
And he's still actually got a decent opportunity to make par. Lie's not too bad, he's got enough green to work with. If he plays a good shot here, there's a possibility of walking out here with a 4, which will be brilliant.
Good shot. Oh, beautiful shot. And that's a safe 4. And he got a chance of getting one back from Carson, who's played 3. Survival of the fittest, I think this is going to be tomorrow. If the weather forecast is correct, we've got by today pretty well. Yes, it's been windy, but we've had no rain. Tomorrow, we're assured by our friendly weatherman, we're going to have several very heavy showers. But you never know.
Well, Oliver's killed the hole off the tee here. 109 to go, just a little hands and arms wedge to go.
Almost looked like a half shot.
What happened there? Well, I don't know what happened there. Did he... I don't know. Little hand and arm shot, simple. It was almost as if he hit a rock or...
I was surprised to see Robert Carson knocking that third one so far back, because he walked all the way up to the hole and paced it out. Maybe caught it a little bit thin because it went a fraction lower than I was expecting. And now he's got this one coming back for a par. It's going to move a little bit from the left-hand side.
It's because his paces are about 5 yards each. And he thought he was only 10 yards from the pin. Big putt.
Turn, 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 turn. Yeah. Oh. Oh. So it's a 5. Vancic came home in 40 with that 5.556 finish. Still round to 72, 32.40.
Round of 69 has done Jyoti Randhawa the power of good, up to 6 under. Only 3 players breaking 70 today.
Jimenez, that'll drop down. No, it's not. Holding its line beautifully. He's held a couple of rattling good putts today. He's had a strange round. Dropped 2 strokes at the 2nd and 3rd. A couple of shots at the 8th. Another one at the 10th. And he's had a great run from there on.
There's an awkward lie here for Oliver.
Oh, sit down, sit down.
Well, this sort of play, though, has nothing to do with the wind conditions. These are just badly struck shots. You can't say anything else about that. Gary Orr, now he's doing remarkably well. Out in 37, although sadly might drop a shot here. Not that for a par. He was out in 37 and starts home 2-4-4. That's 2 birdies, 4-3-4-4. And so in good shape. If he can pop that into 4 up the last.
McGinley going with an iron, so this 16th is going to be playing fairly long as well. Trap on the left-hand side, 226 to reach that.
See him aiming down that right-hand side. It's good, but as Philip said, a long way back. Not a long hole, though. 383 yards, and that's just about exactly where McGinley has hit his tee shot to. A little bit short of that, but that's the line. Just avoid the bunkers, stare to the bunkers the first part, and from there you're not going to have too far to go to this green. Easy to get fairly close to the pin, but once you're on that putting green, it's a tricky one.
So many shots go left. You see, many of us think that the tee aims left. From the look from the camera behind the tee, it's lined up to the left-hand side where he's gone. That could be maybe under the trees. That's the only reason I can think the tee lines up in the wrong direction, and it just throws the players out of kilter. That's 40 yards offline.
Now Wilson up on that green. Just off it. It's going to be one shot gone, and from the perfect tee shot, huge wood down the middle and just a flick to the green, and it's 5.
Gary Orr for his par at the 17th. Oh. 3 putt 6. Oh, but he can only get a 4 up the last. Four up the last for a home in 35. He was going along very well, considering he dropped shots at the 7th and the 8th.
Miles Tunnicliffe to avoid dropping a shot, along with his playing partner Wilson. Such a very, very difficult green to read. Miles Tunnicliffe thought he struck that one well, but he slips back, and that's his 3rd successive bogey, back to 4 under. Spending money on Saturday.
Check on the leaderboard. Carson ahead by 2. This is 1 under par for today at the moment. McGinley 5 over. And Dower 3 under. Here's Oliver Wilson.
240 yards to carry the road, Peter, today. Back into a big, strong wind.
Yes, I thought they might have moved this tee up a little bit, because this is just a good drive if you can do it, and then manufacture some sort of shot to get you round the corner.
So you see some players don't change their swings, and you're saying that some players can't adapt to the wind, but that drive there from Oliver Wilson, hands forward and a little punchy driver off a lower tee.
You've got to adjust. You must have another game for these sort of conditions, and I'm afraid we haven't seen many players able to alter their swing patterns or their thought patterns or the ability to hit shots. They're so used, it would appear, to playing in the Florida courses or when the sun shines and onto greens that are very receptive, and when something out of the ordinary comes along, apart from a handful of players, they're floundering.
Well, Miles has driven the ball well all day, only missed 2 fairways.
And that's the way right, isn't it? Well, that would have hit the big fir tree just in the corner there where the road disappears on the right-hand side of your screen. That's where a huge... They've even taken the stump away now. Look at this one there. This is Carson in trouble.
Yeah, he's got no chance of actually knocking it on the green from here. He's 150 yards away just with a sand iron.
Just digging that one out over the road.
Really isn't much fun watching good players struggle like this. I certainly don't get any pleasure out of it, and I'm damn sure they don't. But it's just a different way of doing it. If you were a racing driver, you've got to contend with pouring rain or whatever. Things are different. They're not always perfect. Everyone tries to get everything so perfect now. I was watching the football now. You never see a bad football pitch now. They're all magnificent. Whereas years ago, a sea of mud at this time of year.
At the same time, I'm sure they do enjoy the fact that it's a challenge. I know when you're playing a championship like this, it's even more difficult, but it tests all your skills. 147 yards left for McGinley.
No. Just try to keep it down. Now here's a very experienced player in the wind, McGinley, brought up on the great Irish courses, but just turned it over, kept it too low, hoiked it round the corner, couldn't keep the blade going through to the target. And I don't know whether they really enjoy it. The winner will enjoy it, of course, and perhaps the first 2 or 3, but the rest will be chuntering about things.
The leaf blowers warming up there. Debris on the greens today. One of those in my house, I wouldn't have to hoover, I'd just blow the dust to the edge of the room.
Typical bachelor. Well, this is where Carson reached, having thrashed one out of the cloying grass.
And this is a very similar distance to what he had on the last hole, and he sort of caught it very thin and went 20 feet past.
I think he's waiting for McGinley to stop walking. Hello, little Robbie. Where's the snow? Coming soon. Look at that. Beware robins. No.
This should stop very quickly once it hits the putting surface into the wind.
Really, that's no idea how to play a shot from 70 or 80 yards of pitch. Obviously going to stop into the wind and doesn't have that variety of shot. Well, perhaps we'll get someone to teach him, or tell him what to do, how to do it.
The 18th Gary Orr, and a bit of bother again. Just digging it out after a wayward drive. Still a fairly lengthy third.
We haven't seen a great exhibition of driving today, Andrew.
conditions have been far more difficult than the previous
Well,
2 days.
difficult, yeah, but then by a long way from being impossible. I mean, some of the great drivers, Arnold Palmer, believe it or not, became one of the great drivers of the ball. Arnold would have revelled these conditions, keep it low and squirt it down. You've got to learn different routines. And here's one of those players that I thought would really have the ability to play these sort of shots. Got off to a bad start, lost a bit of confidence, and look at the shot he's left with here. Just a painful trip round the West Course. But hang on. You've certainly not destroyed your chances. Go on, my beauty. Get round there. Get the old girdle into it. Jeez, I love watching him have that violent practice swing. Ollie's the same. Ollie has a fierce practice swing. Now this is the old master on the. He's not all that old actually. Second shot at the 18th. And watch him as he hit a good one. I think he's hit it straight. You see, you can reach it. If you hits it right, they goes right.
It's a practice swing which reminds me of Corey Pavin. He used to do it.
He did, yeah. That was, you see, it can be done. Now, he's not one of the longest of hitters. He reached the green in 2.
I always feel as though this 16th green is very difficult to read. It's not often you see putts hold. Probably Carson would like to change that. He has this one to save par.
Well, in his case, it was the tee shot that caused the bother, really. And we keep saying it, don't we, this 16th hole. Number of players that misdirect the tee shots here down the left-hand side.
Just adding to the frustration for McGinley will be that watching all the bother of Carson on this hole and thinking I might sneak one back here and then making a bit of a mess of it himself.
Well, he's holed a couple of 7 or 8 footers today, but after the previous 2 rounds when he's holed putts, well, twice the length of this, 3 or 4 of them, makes a colossal difference. If he could just get something out of these final 2.5 holes, 2 and a bit holes, it would just send him off with a little bit more confidence for tomorrow.
Yeah, normally you've got 17, 18 birdie opportunities, but these guys know that they're really difficult today as well, so this putt's even more important to hold for a par for McGinley.
Dearly want to make sure he's in that last group again, possibly with Carson, try and make amends for today. Different day, different McGinley.
Nelson for a par. He's had a miserable time having got out so well, 33 out. He's hardly done anything right coming home. Only had 3 pars, all the rest 5s, 6s.
Just looking at the scores, the green figures, the bogeys really do start to kick it as the players turn for home back into the wind at the 13th. And another big putt to drop just 1.
Schwarzel came home in 35 after a 38 out, started home 3-3-3, 5-5 finish, 73. Yeah. But a shot dropped. Well, we did say at the start of play a 72. Speaking about McGinley, if he could get around to 72, that would be brilliant. 74 wouldn't be. He wouldn't push him right out of it. He may be more than 74, but he'll still be hanging around the top of the leaderboard, even if he finishes with a couple of fives, which are pars, of course. Back to 7 under now. Well, what a change in fortune. What a change in fortunes. Carson still 2 ahead of McKinley, who's 6 over par, so 2 pars for a 78. And look at what that 69's done for Georgie Randawa. Put him right up there. And Vancic, despite a miserable finish, is right there as well.
Well, this is the result of Oliver's second shot. 2 huge shots down here. Some 10 yards short of the green. Pin cut 18 on. 5 off the right. So Oliver's just looking to pitch this some 10 yards onto the green and just let it release down to the pin.
2 big hits, grip now. That's very well done. And a birdie there on this hole into this wind would be 1 against the head and partly make amends for the clumsy efforts at the 16th.
Not one of the top 11 pairings here is shot under par today. So that just shows you the degree of difficulty the course has produced. That, or this is his 4th shot, I fancy, at the final hole. It'll drift away, right? That's miles offline. Now, he should know better than that, really. He must have played here 50 times, and that's... He's 3-putted the last hole, took 6. Big drive here for McGinley. Big, big, big shot. Good drive. But not too far down the fairway. He'll have to play a twister around the trees.
Come in, Ken Brown.
Oh, thank you.
Hard old game, Ken.
Oh, this is such a frightening tee shot. Anything drawn down the left, you're out of bounds in Mr. McGregor's garden, and of course then you block it down the right.
I wondered what that was. He's left his motor running. I think it's is that drifting away to the right. Powerful hitter, Carson, off the fairway, only just over the road. Look, he couldn't have caught that flush.
It's 250 yards from the back tee to clear that road.
I was saying earlier, Ken, while you were away, I thought they might have moved the tee to there. There's the regular tee there. Yeah. I mean, it's and maybe they will tomorrow, or maybe they'll just let them suffer as we suffered all those years ago.
There's a balance, isn't there, between giving entertainment to the viewers and the fans and testing the players out.
Totally agree. Come on, Jimmy Jim. Get up, you man, come on. Well judged, very nicely done. Finishes with a 4. Around a 7. In fact, Jimenez finishes 4-4. That's the only player today that's finished 4-4. 4 birdies in the inward 9.
Gary Orr up the slope for his par. Go on, Gary. Hit it. Well done. A 6-5 finish, but 73.
Yeah, 73. I mean, it would have been awful if he three-putted that one as well. He three-putted the 7. That's a good round from Gary Orr. Home in 36, but here's this man strolling towards you. He could sneak in, and look at that. When all the rest falling by the wayside, he's finished really very well, brilliantly.
Oliver Wilson, yes, well done. Boldly going. Well, it's been a bit of an out-of-breath afternoon's play, but Robert Carson, who started 4 strokes behind Paul McGinley, now leads by 2. Him in his round in 72 for 7 under. Wilson and McGinley still some holes to play. A brilliant round of Jyoti Randhawa, man who hails from New Delhi, 69.
Oliver Wilson making his way to the 18th tee. A word from Ken.
The 18th fairway this week's been the hardest one to find all week, and it's a key one. If you can make the fairway, you give yourself a chance of a birdie or an eagle. You can reach the green in 2. Well, you've got a couple of options. You can drive to this area here, which if you hit it about 290, just under 290, you can leave it short of the bunkers. Well, so far this week, with not much breeze, it's been a 3-wood, but today maybe a little different. But because you're coming across the angle, you've got the bunkers down the right, then you've got the 2 bunkers down the left-hand side, and you're coming across the angle. Although the fairway's 26 yards wide at this point, it actually plays a lot narrower, and you've got to get exactly the right shape, a little fade, to take it round the corner. If you don't, we've seen so many players go into those left-hand bunkers. They've been really popular, and in there, you're okay, but if you get up against the lip, then you're in all sorts of bother, as we saw yesterday from Nick Doherty. So this 18th fairway, if you can find it, get just the right shape, you can reach the green in 2, it's quite an easy birdie chance. But if you miss it, it means you almost drop a stroke on the field. Finding the rough or the bunkers almost cost everyone a stroke. So finding this 18th fairway key, if you can do it, you might end up with a 3 or a 4. If you don't, it could be an ugly 6.
Well, we saw Jimenez just now get a beautiful birdie 4. 2 cracking shots played up. The tee shot up the right side of the fairway, a good wooden shot at the front of the green, so it can be done. But it is a par 5, and today I don't think anyone will be too unhappy finishing 5-5. But as Ken was saying in that piece, a good drive in the right spot, you can reach the green, but you need 2 good, clean, straight hits. Derek wants to know why caddies can wear shorts and the players can't. He remembers years ago watching the Portuguese Open, Brian Barnes was wearing shorts. Well, I think Brian put the mockers on it, Derek, really. He was such a handsome, great big figure. Thought it might be a bit too frightening for the young people and the horses, so they banned it from players. The caddies, they don't seem to worry about the caddies. I think it's rather undignified.
296 to run out of fairway on the left-hand side. Wind off the left-hand side as well for Oliver here.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, oh, caught him. God, blimey. I don't know where to stand to be safe. I think it might have caught him on glutinous maximus, or just a little bit above the old glutinous. Cry of 4, but 3 minutes too late.
Squirting up the fairway. There it comes. It's still a long, long way back.
Yeah, so there's now Gary Orr, Miguel Jimenez have signed their cards, and they're with Shane.
Miguel, you finished birdie for a 72, and now you're tied second. It must have been difficult, though. Was it very tricky out there?
It's not easy today, really. You know, it's this condition with the wind and gusting wind. Sometimes, you know, it's not easy. You know? And at the end, I repaired my run with these 2 birdies to finish. No, and happy to finish level par today.
So it looks like you could be out very late tomorrow. They say that the weather may be bad. I know you don't like the rain.
No, well, nobody likes the rain, I believe. You know, everybody, I think they want to play in a dry condition. No, but the more important thing is if it's rain, I hope it's rain for every people, and then to be fair, you know, I think it's hard enough to have some bad condition for some ones and different one for the other one. No. Today especially it's been all day like that, you know, and like you see the results, you know, go up and down. Every people, you know, it's very easy to make bogeys, very tough to recover in these conditions today, and I think tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting final.
Should be. You did very well, though. Gary, you did well as well. How do you feel about the round? You're still in there. You're in the top 10.
Yeah, I was hanging in there. I did made a couple of bogeys at the end of the front nine, made a couple of birdies in the back nine. I was pleased to hang in. Poor finish. I made a three-putted 17, so that was disappointing. But other than that, I was quite pleased with the score, really.
Talk to us about the conditions, though.
The wind's just gusting, you know. It's not so strong, but it's gusting and it's switching direction the whole time. So it's really tough to pick a club. And once you've picked a club, it switches direction. So you've no idea what's going on half the time, really.
So were you intimidated by it at any stage in the round? Was it very frustrating?
It puts you off, you know. It's difficult to concentrate. You've picked a club, you get ready to hit a shot, and then the wind switches direction completely, so it's difficult to be committed to your shots.
A lot of money on offer now tomorrow. Very important, obviously. Are you looking forward to that challenge?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a course I enjoy playing, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully the weather holds up for us.
You had a good 2-ball today. Are you looking forward to tomorrow now?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think I've played very well this few years, this golf course, and I hope tomorrow get in there and get my chances.
Best of luck to both of you, Miguel, and to Gary.
Thank you. Good old Miguel. Lawrence Olivier must be spinning in his grave.
I'm not sure about it not being strong, but it certainly has the last half hour been very strong. Now Robert Carson from 147 yards for his third shot on the 17th.
Cagely done, middle of the green. A really quality shot there.
Now, it was interesting hearing Miguel Jimenez there talk. 72, you see, put him in. He could be, he's certainly joint favourite, no worse than joint favourite to win this event now. I mean, he's a beautiful player. He's a good, solid pro. Plays so well. He sort of just keeps going like old Father Thames. And McGinley's third at the 17th.
Hit 2 perfect shots so far. Couldn't have hit his tee shot any better. It went miles. Little low draw into the breeze, and then he hooked a nice 3-iron around the corner, following the fairway, chasing it as far as possible. Still leaving himself 90 yards for his third.
Pulled a couple of irons in his endeavour to keep them low. 14th and 16th. That's better. Look at the crowds. A lot of people out watching this final match.
Elson. Just up the left side. No, too hard. Well, he's had a nightmare. 9 holes out in 33. 4, 6, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. But still 76, and with all those drop shots on the inward 9, you'd think he'd blown any chance of getting a decent check, but he can come back tomorrow with a par or better.
Football fans, keep an eye on these. The championship playoff, often called the richest game, the richest prize, worth 60 million, in Hull City for the first time in their history up to the top flight of English football. Dean Windass with the winner, and Queen of the South, despite a valiant comeback. They were 2 goals down against Rangers, but Rangers have won, making amends perhaps for a little bit for the league loss, winning 3-2 at Hampden. Well done Hull, well done Rangers. On with the golf.
The locals will all be diving into the River Annan there in Dumfriesshire. What a disappointment. Oh, yeah.
Ali McCoy will be happy though, won't he? Dear old Ali, the quiet, gentle boy. Attendance today, 2,000, over 2,000 up on last year. About 2,000, so that's very good. Every day it's been increased attendance figures. So the sponsors must be very happy. They produced a wonderful tented village this year, entirely remodelled. There's something for everybody, for the young people. There's motor cars to look at, and there's food and drink and merchandise, and it really is beautifully done. Congratulations to all. Now, would they be Celtic supporters or Irish supporters?
An Irish rugby top.
Oh, Irish rugby top.
There's still the possibility that these guys can finish in glory. Both have birdie opportunities here on 17. Robert Carson first to go. Not a lot of break on this one.
I like the rhythm of his putting stroke. It's sort of crisp, Tom Watson style, back and through. Got a chance, Parky. It's got a chance. Oh, what a putt. What a timely putt. A rare birdie at the 17th. His par fives have been rather kind to him today. 10 under.
Only 3 birdies at the 17th today, Ken. Carson at this moment 3 ahead of the pack.
Be nice if Paul McGinley follows him in. Really struggling today, but he's hit a lot of good shots. Lost a lot of shots around the green. It'd be nice if he holds one.
Keep coming. Seven under, 6 over for the round. Just a couple of birdies on the cards. Just a slow start to his round. We've got to aim at the tent and hit a huge fade. 40 yards of fade if he's going to get it on the green. It's coming.
As you were talking about the 17th hole, there were a glut of them, you might say, early on in the piece. They were up early as well. In fact, there were about 14 or 15 birdies, if it out of about 70 runners. It's not an awful lot. There's an old campaigner there. And here's another one. Paul Eales. Come on, Paul.
Yes, come on, Miles. It's been a long old tough day for you here. 100 yards to go. Straight down breeze here.
How's his lie, Paul? It looks from our angle as if it's a little cuppy.
It is just nestled down a little bit. I mean, you're always going to get, certainly when you're this close, 1 or 2 iffy lies where all the divots have been gouged out over the weeks. Should be no problem from here, though.
Yeltsin home in 43 and still round in 76 and still has a sight of the leaders, which is quite extraordinary. And apart from this gusty wind, which has caused havoc today, it's been an excellent third day here at Wentworth and the West Course. I'm sure the spectators have all had a good time, young and old and middle. Come on. Good. Good pitch, but he's got that horrid slidey one down the green. never seem to be able to find the line.
Must be that time of the evening. Another 3 would be very popular for Robert Carson. Hasn't hit many drivers. Coming back in the breeze. Almost dead centre. There's very low flight on the 3 wood and gets plenty of run on it.
Stand still, please.
McGinley looks to be teeing that low, which would suggest he's going to aim it at those bunkers and try and hit a lowish drive with a bit of left to right on it. That's the way to do it.
He does have the wind, which will help that shot as well, coming off the left-hand side.
Seemed to get that up in the air very quickly. But shaped it nicely. Safe.
Lovely scene round the 18th. To Miles. Big swing on that. This green's been relaid and it's not quite the same as it used to be. There's a bit more tilt over there.
Do you know why it was relayed, Ken? Was it problems with the...
I think it was drainage. The little cuppy hollows were appearing. Whenever it rained, they sort of filled with water. I think it was just to level it out a little.
So just put the original grass back again?
Yes, this was the same turf. They took it away and then...
Fisher, Wilson, I should say. This for a birdie. I fancy if all our reckonings are right, he's got this putt for 72. Somewhere around about there, and that would put him into very good shape if he could do it for tomorrow.
So difficult to pick the line here.
Yeah, very difficult from above the hole here. I don't know, if you hit it straight, it seems to wander off. He went left. It's an extraordinary line down there. It sort of wanders down. I think you hit it straight and let it wander and hope for the best. So a good battle for Oliver Wilson. A couple of drop shots in the outward 9, but really that's 5 at the last for 73, and that's one of the best scores of the day. So 3 birdies and 1, 2, 3, 4 bogeys. Quite a lot of pars. 73.
Come on, Miles. For his par, be round in 77 if he nudges this one in.
And that would be a finish of 4 5s, 2 of them bogeys, and the final 2 holes would be par 5s if this goes in. Just left of centre, firm. In she goes. Well done. The end of a hard round.
77 blows, but he's still in the top 10, 4 under.
Sanctuary.
Just looking at the prize money, Peter. 10th prize, £71,000.
Tremendous. It's about 20 or 30,000 for 30th place, isn't it?
Keeps you concentrating.
Know yourself, you just gotta.
There's a lot to play for. You don't want to get too humpy and pumpy and start throwing shots away unnecessarily. You've got to keep solid.
Well, after a perfect tee shot from Paul McGinley, I think if he hits a perfect 3-wood, he should be able to get all the way back to the hole location. A little bit of breeze from the left-hand side, and just helping a little as well. Just a nice little cut will be perfect for him.
Well, he hit a beauty in here last night. And it's drifting away, it's drifting away. Oh, God, lummy. It's carried over the top of the front rank.
You must shout 4 there. I mean, it's just
Nobody shouts anymore. I mean, I
I
find it extraordinary in this age of litigation. Same as hitting 6s at cricket, crashing them into the crowd. Nobody's, well, you wouldn't shout 4 then, would you?
You probably shout 6.
So get out of it. Or 6, yeah. I wonder what young Paul's thinking about. Started off, well, with such high hopes. That very first opening shot, iron for safety, found trouble, took 6, and that set the ball rolling. Well, he reckons he can get there with an iron. Can't be playing safe. Must be going for it.
He's admiring it, Peter. Oh, a little unlucky.
Tremendous shot. Even 2 putts from there is 11 under, and that would be a very good position whatever he does, he'd be good for the morrow.
So Robert Carson has a chance to extend that lead at the top going to the last. It's currently at 3 shots ahead of Jimenez, Wilson and McGinley. I'm afraid our coverage has to draw to an end here on BBC One. But if you press your red button, you will be able to see the remaining play courtesy of our interactive coverage. It's been a tough day out there on the European Tour. Perhaps more chance of picking the Eurovision winner from here. Goodbye.